In case you missed it, Mia Maxwell last month at the North Texas Jump Showcase in December jumped 44 feet 5 3/4 of an inch. Now that is just 3/4 of an inch shy of the all-time US national record for a high school girl jumper. In this video, I'm gonna break down the footage of that breakout jump. Then I'm gonna let you know what I think she did exceptionally well to produce that mark. And then finally, I'll let you know why I think she can jump even further. Then I'll leave you with 3 things you can take from Mia's record-breaking performance and apply to your own training. Let's get to it. What's happening, everybody? It's Olu. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm an Olympic triple jumper having competed in the 2016 Olympics. I'm also a track and field coach, and while I do a lot of different things unrelated to track and field out in the world, this channel is focused on helping you become a better athlete. I first met Mia Maxwell last March at Nike Indoor Nationals, where she had won the national title, the indoor national title, in a jump of 41 feet and 11 inches. Mia would then go on to the end of the outdoor season with an all-time PR of 42 feet, 7 3/4 of an inch. And in meters, that means her PR last year was just about 13 meters. It's crazy. That's almost 2 feet of improvement in less than a calendar year. And I've said many times on this channel that the triple jump is such a beautiful event because once you start dialing things in, you can make huge leaps of performance at a time. No pun intended. And so Mia is a perfect example of that. So let's get to the footage. The first thing that Mia did phenomenally well is that she ran all the way through the board. Triple jump ground rule number 1 is clear. Maintaining speed is key. Once you've taken off from the ground in your approach, you can only lose speed going forward through the phases. You cannot pick up any more speed than what you take off from the board with. Now Mia, in case you didn't know, she's a legend in her own right. She's the Texas 6A state record holder in the 100-meter dash. She's run 11:04. Yes, 11.04 seconds. And that mark not only ranked her highly among high schoolers in this country, but also globally as an athlete. So she's bringing 11:0 speed to the board. And what you see in this video that she does super well is that she does not back down from her approach at all. In fact, she takes that 11:0 speed off the board with her. Now, if you're watching this video closely, you notice that she actually pulls back from the board. This isn't her stuttering. This is her turning over very, very well. And because she executed her approach so well, maintained so much speed, started turning over at the board, which is natural and what we actually want to start doing, she turned over so well that it actually pulled her just short of the board. Now, lots of jumpers, especially young ones in general, are a little bit fearful of approaching the triple jump board with speed. And it makes sense. You know, if you run too fast or jump too high off the board and you're in bad position, it's gonna hurt. I get that part. But the key is no matter how fast you are running, whether you're bringing 11:0 speed like Mia is bringing, or you run 15 seconds into 100, however much speed you're bringing into the board, you do not want to lose any of it. Now, a cue I like to give here when I'm coaching athletes, or just in general when I was competing full time as well, is that you want to run through the board, not just to the board. A lot of times you think that you run to the board, you touch the board and jump, and that's all you need to do to be able to jump far. And you say, I touched the board, I don't know why I didn't go anywhere. Well, just running to the board isn't what you want to do, because if you run to the board, you're essentially telling yourself that your momentum can stop once you touch the board. Touching the board becomes your only objective. Now, that might not be what you're consciously thinking, but essentially that's what you're telling your body to do. I've touched the board, I can jump now. No. The board is a launching point, and you want to launch forward from the board. And in order to do that, you have to carry your speed from your approach through the board, through your takeoff. This is true for long jumpers as well. And this is even true for pole vaulters. If you want to see a perfect example of this, look at Mondo Duplantis. We now know he has 10.4 speed, and he's bringing that down the pole vault runway. Speed, maintaining speed is key, but you also need to have the strength and power to be able to convert that speed into horizontal distance. Again, we'll get into all the weeds of that in another video. Now here's where I think Mia can jump even further. Obviously she could have just touched the board and that would have been it. But I think Mia has a lot more than just 2 inches left in her. Yeah, this is insane. First and foremost, as you can see, I kind of missed the jump phase of it, and there's a little bit of issues with the autofocus. Now, as a camera guy, that's where my eye goes first, but it was kind of hard it was a very tight space, so it was hard to swing the gimbal around to catch the full jump. But you got the most of it. You got the part you needed to see. Now, right here, it's one thing you have to watch in slow motion. You can see her foot kind of just hangs out here for a little bit, Whereas if you look at her jump leg, she's a right, left jumper. So look at her right foot as she comes off the board. That cycles to her butt really well, and then it kind of goes in front of her, and it just kind of stays there. Now, ideally what you would see is as she comes off the board, the heel comes to the butt, the thigh comes to parallel, the foot goes out in front, and then it continues its path backwards. It makes a cycle. Now, this is what I mean when I say completing the hop cycle. And I have a video on this channel that really goes in depth about that. So I would highly recommend that after you're done with this one, you go over and watch that. Had Mia done everything else equal, not even if she would have touched the board, had she done everything else equal and just completed that hop cycle a little bit better, she would have maintained even more momentum going into her step phase, and that would have been even more of a bomb of a jump. I can't say exactly how much further it would have been, but I do think it would have been a lot more than 3/4 of an inch. Another thing, anecdotally, is after watching a few of her other jumps, I noticed that her landing could have been a lot cleaner. Now, Mia is clearly strong, and you get a real sense of that if you watch her compete in person. She's very powerful with her strides. She actually reminds me of like Julian Alfred. If you've ever seen Julian Alfred run, she's very powerful. She can get a lot of power with every ground contact with the track. And now Mia does that. Mia's not Julian, Mia is Mia Maxwell, and she does that on the runway. So she brings that level of power into the board as well, alongside the speed. I say all that to say, that's why Mia could kind of get away with casting that foot out a little bit in front of her, not fully completing that hop cycle and still jump almost the greatest high school girls jump of all time. That's a testament to how strong she is. But you don't have to be the most powerful athlete in the world to make sure that whatever you are bringing to the board or to the approach, you're able to maintain it. Now here are 3 different ways you can apply what Mia did so well to your own training. First, I already said it once, obey ground rule number 1, maintaining speed is key. There's another drill on this channel called the run, hop drill, which will help take you through that process of committing through the board and learning how to not break down in your approach before taking off of the ground. Go ahead and watch that video after you finish with this one. Point number 2, and this is something I actually didn't break down in the first part of the video. I actually had a chance to catch up with Mia after her breakout performance. Now, as I said already, I met Mia in March of 2025, so to see her in December, having jumped that much further, I wanted to know what were the secrets behind her performance. And I'm sure she kept some of those to herself because she should, but one of the things that stood out to me, there's a couple things that stood out to me, but with regards to this point here, is she said she started weight training with more intention. So with the physical side, you said you're doing some weight training?
Yes, so definitely building more strength, especially for jumps. Last year I focused a little bit of it, but I didn't really understand what I was doing. I kind of was just doing what my coach told me. So now understanding how everything can benefit me and how it can help me with jumps is just a really big game changer, and just incorporating that into my competition as well.
That's great. I've said many times on this channel that I would prioritize, if you had one thing to choose from, I would prioritize maximizing your jump training in order to jump further, especially as a young athlete, over weight training. And I stand by that. I'd recommend that any day if it's one or the other. Weight training is not mandatory, but it can lead to big breakthroughs in your performance when done well and with intention. It can also lead to breakdowns in performance and in your body if you don't do it well and with intention. So if that's something you really want to move into, I highly suggest you seek out the help of a certified strength and conditioning coach, because they're the professionals who are going to help you get a lot more proficient with your weight training. That is a certified strength and conditioning coach. The certification you're looking for, if you're looking for a specific coach, is CSCS, which, as a veteran of the fitness industry myself, I can tell you not all certifications are made the same. And even then, you want to make sure that somebody's specifically certified to what you're trying to do. And that's train and lift weights for performance gains, not just for physique. So it's really important you're working with the right trainer, right coach, if you decide to begin weight training. I usually try to avoid giving too much of that type of content on this channel because it can get very complex. But again, let me know if that's something I should dive into and deeper into in another video on the channel. And the final thing that I want to give you as a takeaway here is something that you wouldn't have been able to actually see from Mia's performance. In the conversation I had with her after her performance, I asked her how she managed to stay calm after, on the first jump of her season setting such a big PR. And she told me that one of the main things that helped her stay grounded and perform so well is that she stayed true to herself and remained humble. That was her key to staying present in the competition and not letting the emotions of such a big performance take her off her game. Now, clearly Mia is a champion. She's already won Nike Indoor last year, Nike Outdoors, and a whole bunch of other championships to her name. So I think there's something you could take from a champion in terms of what their mindset is. If you also want to perform well, not just perform well, but also start to win. It's nice to perform well. It's really nice to perform well and win, and to be able to do that as needed. And what Mia said in terms of staying true to herself and staying grounded is something that you can apply to your own training. You want to train your mind alongside your body. Now, what does that look like? Well, for me, it looks like maintaining my own personal mindfulness practice, which includes lots of self-reflection and journaling. That's why I always say self-reflection is your secret weapon. If you understand where your strengths lie and your weaknesses, you can start planning your training, your whole life, really, not just about sport, off the track too. You can start playing to your strengths and mindfully improving your weaknesses. But it requires you spending a lot of time with yourself personally, off of the timeline, off of YouTube, to really get to know who you are as a person. The more you know about yourself as a person away from the sport of track and field, the more it will benefit you as an athlete. Now, I can go in so much detail about this, and I actually did a few years ago during our webinar called Mindfulness with Athletes. But let me know in the comments if this is the type of content you want to know more about, because I'd be love to dive back into that. Had I known this when I was competing, I still made it to the Olympic Games, yes. But had I known this when I was competing, I probably would have been able to perform much better at those Olympic Games alongside other competitions and even outside of the track. Here's how easy and simple a mindfulness practice can actually be. Every day at the same time, just set a quick alarm for yourself. Maybe at 12 p.m. I have one that goes off at 12 and 2:30 because that's in the middle of my workday. At that time that your alarm goes off, just take 60 seconds, that's it, just a minute, to take a breath, in and out calmly, whether you're standing, sitting, wherever you are. Take a breath, in, out. Maybe do that 3 times and just see what comes up. Simple as that. And when I say see what comes up, I'm not just talking about in your mind, but also in your body. You know, our body is intelligent, and we as athletes, more than probably anyone on this earth, have the opportunity to get in touch with and hone the intelligence of our bodies to help us perform and get what we want out of life. Take these tips, apply them, actually apply what you learned here today so that you can actually start to see the gains. Watching a video is not enough. You must go and apply what you learned. Learn by doing. That is the key. Hearing that when I was young was a game changer for me in terms of learning how to become a much better athlete. And that's how I made a lot of gains in a short amount of time. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. There's plenty more stuff in the pipeline. Just give me some time and I'll come to you soon. All right, y'all. Peace.